Breaking now at 5, a child now in critical condition after a shooting on the southwest side. Right now, IMPD believes the child accidentally shot himself at a home near Kentucky Avenue and Ameriplex Parkway. We have a crew on the way to the scene as we speak. As soon as we get more information from police, we'll let you know. You can follow all the latest updates on air and online, either on WTHR.com or through the 13 News app. Developing tonight, 2 people are dead after a shooting on Indy's east side. It started as a house fire just before 11 this morning. But as our Ashton Hackman explains, police quickly realized this was anything but a fire.
Yeah, not a great way to start Thanksgiving. A tragic scene here on Indy's east side. Fire and police officials not only conducting a fire investigation, but a double fatal shooting investigation.
I thought it was just a regular fire, like, you know, a little kitchen fire or something.
But the crime scene tape tells the story. This wasn't just a house fire.
No family on these holidays should be going through what this family is going through right now.
Just after 10 on Thanksgiving morning, firefighters rushed to this gray home on Audubon Avenue. The front window shattered, water filling the street. Police were called in when 2 people were found shot inside. A man was already dead. A woman was rushed to the hospital but later died. Indianapolis Fire says a 1- and 2-year-old inside the home were not hurt.
Anytime you lose a loved one, it's hard, but when you have them on those dates that should be so full of joy, it's hard.
Down the street, Joshua Skarks had no idea the fire was something far worse.
Oh, wow. I didn't know somebody was shot. I thought it was just a fire. Oh, wow. And I'm alarmed that this is what happened. I know this is an everyday occurrence that happens in Indianapolis, unfortunately, but there's no getting used to it.
On a day meant for gratitude, one family is now facing grief.
Metro Police tell us they don't think there is a threat to the public and that this is an isolated incident. Obviously, anyone who might have saw anything or knows anything about what happened, you're asked to give IMPD or Crime Stoppers a call. On Indy's east side, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
All right, well, thank you, Ashton. You're taking a live look downtown this evening, Thanksgiving evening. It's bright, crisp, cool out there.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for an even bigger cool down and some more winter weather ahead of the holiday weekend. I'm Allison Gormley, filling in today, joined by Rob Ellis, and he's going to catch us up on that colder weather is coming.
We do have a snowy system arriving Saturday, but in the meantime, it's just going to stay cold. And really, the entire forecast pattern is one that looks more like January than, say, November. So let me kind of show you where we are over the next 24 hours. We do have some winter storm watches that are in place, and this should give you an idea of where the heaviest snow is going to be expected on Saturday, really along 70 and to the north, especially to the north. But in the meantime, it's relatively quiet. Just to show you that most of the snow right now is to the north. We did have a little bit of cloud cover roll through the early part of the day, but now things have cleared out, and it may take another 48 hours before the heaviest of the snow arrives. So for the short term, tonight, dry. For tomorrow, dry. Not expecting that system to arrive until Saturday, and you will start to see that late Saturday morning and into Saturday afternoon. So if you have plans to travel Saturday afternoon, it is not advised, as we are expecting snow and potentially accumulating snow as this all moves through and wraps up on Sunday. How much snow are we talking? Well, this is still in flux a little bit, and here's the reason why. We could see as much as 2 to 4 inches even across parts of Indianapolis. Points to the north of northern Indiana could see more than that, but it's going to get eaten into by some warmer temperatures, some rain, and some melting that's going to compact things quite a bit. Now, there's a lot to this. I'm going to break all of that down, give you the timing hour by hour if you have plans for Saturday or Sunday. I'll have that for you coming up. In the meantime, mostly clear skies for tonight and a cold one, low down to 22.
Sounds like we'll have to start figuring out where those shovels are and salt is. Well, it's a Thanksgiving Day tradition decades in the making. Volunteers with the Moselle Sanders Foundation packing holiday meals for people in need. Marina Silva shows us how they pull it off.
One scoop at a time, volunteers are packing 10,000 meals that will go to families in Indianapolis for Thanksgiving. With more than 3,000 pounds of chicken and turkey, 20,000 dinner rolls, and hundreds of pounds of gravy, it's all to feed hungry Hoosiers. Moselle Sanders is one of the volunteers.
Because I like to help people. It makes me happy, and it makes them happy, and that's what makes me happy. And I love to be in the kitchen, so this is extra fun.
This is her first time in the kitchen volunteering.
And I volunteered in the food pantry years ago, and I'm a kitchen person.
This is the annual Moselle Sanders Thanksgiving distribution, honoring the late Reverend Dr. Moselle Sanders.
This was his vision to make sure that no one went hungry. He talked about it, and then it happened. Other church leaders and community leaders, they supported it, and then they kept going.
This year, more than ever, families are putting in the request for just a little help. The Moselle Sanders Foundation wants to make sure that every family who needs a meal has one.
Second, we opened up the phone lines, it was flooded. And then they hit us up on the email, and then they hit us up from social media. So every single medium, they reached out to us. So it was definitely one of those years where we knew that there was a certain unique burden.
It is made possible by thousands of volunteers, including Chef Michael Futch.
We need to come together as Hoosiers. Hoosiers do it best.
For volunteers like Michelle, this is where they want to be on Thanksgiving.
And I like being around kind people. This is nice.
In the kitchen, helping others. In Indianapolis, Marina Silva, 13 News.
Some of our city's leaders also stopped by one of the Moselle Sanders locations today. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett got to the work behind the scenes, helping to prepare some meals for the delivery. It's an annual tradition, he says, continues to serve a need for the community.
Actually, long before I was mayor, I was helping the Moselle Sanders Thanksgiving Day meal. And I mean, we were at Tech in the first year. We've been to Tab Presbyterian, and now we're at Butler, and now we're at Ivy Tech. So even though we've moved around, the need is still there, and so people still respond to the need.
Tonight at 6, we'll tell you how the mayor and the city are working to address homelessness in Indianapolis. Hear the mayor's outlook for early 2026. More Hoosiers than ever were fed this year at the annual Feast of Plenty. Brandon Schaff spent the day in Greenfield and shows us how hundreds of volunteers stepped up to prepare and distribute Thanksgiving meals.
It's Thanksgiving Day here at the Hancock County Fairgrounds. Thousands of meals being prepared to be distributed across the area, all a part of the Lisa Meggie Feast of Plenty.
20 years ago, a few hundred meals were served in this building. On Thursday, more than 6,000 meals were prepared for Hoosiers on Thanksgiving. That's 1,000 more meals than just 1 year ago, which was already their highest ever. It takes a whole community to make it happen. Hundreds of volunteers showing up to prepare, pack, and distribute meals. About 200 delivery drivers lined up and loaded their cars, bringing the food to those in need.
Our secret weapon is a God who never fails, but I think we figured out what his secret weapon is, and that's the people of Hancock County, Henry County, Rush County, East Central Indiana, coming out and being the hands and feet, making something like this happen.
Joel Hungate is Lisa Meggie's son, who the Feast of Plenty is named after. She died in 2016, but her vision of people sharing these meals together on Thanksgiving lives on through the community members that showed up to help.
Lisa Meggie was a really special lady, so we just want to help out the community however we can with delivering meals and make sure everyone has a meal on Thanksgiving.
Hungate says his mom would be excited to see how many more people this event helps now, and it's a blessing to continue doing that work in her memory. Brandon Schaff, 13 News.
What a great way to honor her. Well, thousands of people took some time to give back today by putting on their running shoes. They bundled up for that 23rd annual Wheeler Mission Drumstick Dash in Broad Ripple. The event raises money for Wheeler Mission to help provide services for people experiencing homelessness. In 2024 is one of the top 100 largest running events in the country, raising nearly $115,000. We've got an update for you on the ongoing debate over redrawing Indiana's congressional districts. Both the House and the Senate are expected to take up the issue over the next 2 weeks. 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker is here with an update. Emily?
We're now learning Indiana House Republicans have been invited to a conference call with House Speaker Mike Johnson this weekend. Sources confirmed to me today the call is expected to take place Saturday afternoon. Sources say the invitation did not mention redistricting specifically as the topic of that meeting, but it does come just days before lawmakers are expected back at the State House for the start of the 2026 legislative session on Monday. Originally, lawmakers were not set to come back until January 5th, but earlier this week, both the House and Senate announced they'd be back over the next 2 weeks to take up the issue of redistricting. Republican House Speaker Todd Huston has said the votes are there in the House to support redrawing the state's map of congressional districts. The leader of the Senate, though, Republican Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray, has said for the past several weeks the votes aren't there in his caucus to support such a move. Hoosiers will find out if that still holds true when the Senate gets a bill on redistricting after it's gone through the process in the House. Meantime, both sides have been getting their message about redistricting out to Hoosiers. These texts have gone out asking voters to support President Trump's redistricting plan. On the other side, Indiana conservation voters put out a new six-figure ad campaign this week. It features Hoosiers they say are Republicans voicing their opposition to changing the state's congressional districts mid-decade. So far, we haven't seen a bill on redistricting filed. We'll update you if that changes. Just like any bill, it would go through the regular legislative process, which would include a hearing before a committee where lawmakers would hear testimony for and against the bill. So far, the General Assembly's website doesn't list committee members for the 2026 legislative session. Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Parade is a tradition for many. We'll show you the Hoosier connection to this year's celebration still ahead.
And we've got snow arriving on Saturday. I'm going to walk you through the timing of this, especially if you're going to be traveling anytime over the next 72 hours. You're going to want to stay tuned.
But first, new details on the man accused of shooting 2 National Guard members, what investigators are saying about the hours leading up to that shooting.